नाउ वी आर ऑल सेट। यूट्यूब पे लाइव भी हैं हम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम निशान भाई।
So may I start it?
जी आप स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं जो जो भी हमारा है वो। मीनवाइल लोग ज्वाइन करते जाएंगे, हम जो हमारा प्रॉपर वे है उससे स्टार्ट।
May I start it?
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
जी आप स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं जो जो भी हमारा है वो। Now we are live on YouTube and we can start the session. It's 3 p.m. UAE time and 4 p.m. PST, Pakistan Standard Time. So, Dr. Reena, please start the session.
Yes, sir, sure. May the beloved country have countless prosperity. Amen.
Amen.
Starting with the gracious name of Almighty Allah, able speakers, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. A very gladdened and rejoiced welcome to all attendees of today's webinar. On behalf to have you all here with us today and present attendees, welcome to all of you again. Respected attendees, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. And I'm so happy to have you here. And we have a marvelous start of our outstanding platform, which flourished spontaneously due to matchless efforts for profession pharmacy. The attendees, on the behalf of Giving Back to Pharmacy, again, we have a webinar on very tremendous topic of today. And the speakers of today is, which I want to introduce you of a bit of them, as because of shortage of time, I cannot tell they're all particular matchless characteristics, and they are no doubt a very brightest moon on the profession. But I will tell about them some of their proper characteristics and what they hold. Yes, respected attendees, today we have our very respected sir, who is well known in our pharmacy profession, Dr. Yavar A. Farishta, and particularly he is CEO of Innovata Healthcare and strategic business partner of Wilshire. Respected attendees, the second co-speaker with us is Hena Kamar. I will later on introduce her as well. Coming toward our first speaker, respected Sir Yavar is a pharmacist from Faculty of Pharmacy from University of Karachi, and he was from the batch of 1990. Respected attendees, the educational career of our speaker of today is that he done MBA from IBA from Karachi in marketing. Plus, he have multiple of expertise, and he is a self-made, a very competent person who have multiple of professional experiences. Some of them I want to tell you that he is currently serving the community pharmacy from past 30 years. He have an experience of 30 years. He's serving pharmacy profession, but working with multiple of organization and pharmaceutical companies. Some of the name are who worked with multinational pharmaceutical companies like Allergan, like BMS, like Sanofi, like Aventis, like Eli Lilly, and national companies of them are Hilton Pharmaceuticals, Life, and Wilshire Pharmaceuticals. Then we have a very positive aspect of our respected speaker, that he started his career from grassroots level, and the position was medical representative. And from the journey, as it started from a medical representative, he lead himself and made himself a very bright star of our profession. He leaded to a RSM, PM, marketing manager, director marketing, and director marketing and sales, then commercial director as a commercial, and different, we can say, on different designation he worked and served pharmacy profession. I will not take your much of time. Moving toward our today's speaker, yes sir, we are very glad to have you here, and it is an honor for us to have you here. And respected attendees, have a very warm welcome for Dr. Yawar Abbas Farishta. And having you, sir, is a very, I can say, tremendous experience for us, and we will, inshallah, will have a very good experience from you by this and by the end of this presentation. Moving toward you and landing toward you, sir. Please, you may continue the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hina, for having this introduction. Obviously, the topic being given to me, and first of all, Assalamu alaikum, everyone from the UAE and Pakistan, wherever you are. I'm sure you must be very well. So the topic basically given to me is a day in the life of pharmacist, and particularly with the perspective of marketing as a career. So I think, first of all, I would like to thank the forum for providing me this opportunity, because topic is so good. The organization's platform is so good that giving back to pharmacy, which is one of the responsibilities that we have being a professional pharmacist. So I think I will try my best to really communicate to you whatever the expectations that you have for this subject. This is a disclosure, and obviously it's all a sort of honorary thing, and there was no funding or nothing like that. It's a professional organization, and as you know that this is a group of volunteers versus Pakistanis who are running this a particular academic platform, and that includes a pharmacy manager, hospital and clinical pharmacist, community pharmacist, academia, and this sort of thing. The objective is very clear. It's the knowledge transmission or transformation and the skill enhancement for the youngsters, influencing the practice change to enhance patient care, and policy change by influencing the leadership of governmental and non-governmental sector. So I think these are some of the objectives that are mentioned here. And I think if you look at the overall our course outline, you will be able to, I will try to explain the role of a pharmacist, particularly in the marketing segment. By the end of this session, I think you will be in a position to explain, describe, and identify the objectives of this session. So let's, I think, move forward. This is my first slide. It was really difficult to capture so many things in a single slide, because if you look at a pharmacist who has opted to career in pharmaceutical marketing, they are more into what, let me just briefly define the role of the pharmacist who is really opting the career of product manager in marketing. The person has to be very innovative. One thing is that very clear that he should be in a position to accept the challenge, and he should have a vision to really see where his brand should go up. And if I just first explain the typical day of a pharmacist working in the marketing department, the day starts with the setting of the priority and planning the day accordingly, because there must be multiple things going on. This again depends on situation to situation, because if there's a company who is really in the phase of launching some brands or maybe launching some group, so the priority would be towards the making the business plan and developing the media plan and this sort of thing. But normally what if we just look at the general day, it would be prioritizing and planning according to the day's priority. And then the second part, normally after having replying the emails, The second thing that the thinking process starts here is again the follow up on the current marketing campaigns and the execution status, because it's one of the important job of the product manager is to develop, devise a marketing campaign which is in line with the customer's need and which can really help to move forward the brand. So for that purpose, whatever the campaigns which is being rolled out, there's an important role of the and can you please, screen is not really appearing. Can you please go back to the screen, the slide? Hello, hello, hello.
Dr.
We
Jawed,
can
you are
we can
audible.
we can hear you. So go ahead. We'll get
Okay,
the
this.
screen back.
Oh, yeah, can you just screen is not
Just
appearing. So
just wait, just wait.
I'll let you know. I think I
Just
can
wait, sir.
have my own screen if you allow me.
Yeah, yeah, you can have your own screen because I
Okay,
think
right.
she lost the connection.
Okay, that's fine. I was on that. The second
You can
part
share.
was the. It's okay. You
Just
want to
wait, sir.
share because others can see
Yeah, yeah,
also the
you can
screen.
share.
No? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet, not yet.
So I think again, if Hina can share the screen, so everybody can see the screen. That's what I think the flow should be.
Just
I
wait, sir.
okay.
Just wait, sir.
Yeah, please.
Hello, Alina.
Yes, sir. I'm
Yes,
so
can you please
sorry
share
for.
your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
yes,
It's okay.
yes, sir.
Sorry about the interruption because I think there was some technical issues.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can take your time. No problem.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because if I would use my screen, so the others will not be able to see the screen. That's why. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
perfect. Now I can see the screen. That's perfect. So coming back to again, sorry for the inconvenience because technology sometimes have this sort of problem, but I think I'm back to my slide. Uh, yeah, I think I was just discussing that after prioritizing the whole day and following up on the marketing campaign and the execution status, there's another type of activity that the product manager and marketing department, he basically develops a quarterly media plan and for the current and upcoming activity event status. Because before the start of the quarter, he generally develops the resource mapping and the communication strategy, the priorities, and the particularly if something is really pitching up the brand for certain communication, that's a part of the quarterly media plan. So far I discussed the marketing campaign, the execution of that marketing campaign, and then the quarterly media plan. The fourth important thing that generally a product manager does in a given day is the review of the month-to-date brand sales progress and analyze gaps with recommended actions. And he basically suggests the action to the national sales manager or the business unit head, because he's also he's the owner. He has got the is the custodian or the owner. He has got the ownership of the brand's sales progression. So in commercial perspective, we should be very vigilant and active towards what is happening in the market and how the sales is progressing, because he has got the objectives and targets with him. Another thing that generally a product manager does in a given day is the competitive analysis, because so many things are happening in the market and competitor is in the forefront. So he has to really get the information, a sort of market intelligence. He has to have this sort of thing. And then he has to develop the repertoire and the strategy being given to the field force so that they can talk with the doctors who are basically the key prescriber of doctors or the pharmacists who are regularly influencing the prescription part of the business. So it's again competitive analysis. He has to be very vigilant. He has to get the information, the insight of the market and the competition. There has to be some communication going on to the field force regarding different aspects of event management or something like campaign going on, the feedback, if something there's troubleshooting. So the brand manager is at the central core of the sales and marketing function. So he's in contact with the field force. And he should have a good rapport with the field force so that a trustworthy relationship and something inspiring so that the field force must have a trust on the brand manager. So he really a person in the field can share instant information about so that the timely action can be taken. His analytical skills should be very good because he must be doing a lot of analytical work for the upcoming brand launch or the business plan development. So there must be market data, there must be sales data, there must be competitive data, and there must be some strategic direction. So he has to connect the dots and see how really the plan can be worked out. So his analytical skills should be very, very important. Now, I think coming to the competencies required for this particular position as a product manager in marketing, he has to be the part of the strategic team, and he should know the business and therapeutic need of the market. He should know the customer need and the patient journey. The patient journey, for example, if a patient, we are dealing with the medicine related to diabetes, so he should know the full journey of the patient, how really he goes into the disease and then how disease progresses. So there are various steps. So you should know the journey of a patient and the therapeutic need or the uncovered need of a healthcare professional. So another thing he should also know the competitive scenario and the market scenario. He should know that the molecule has got the acceptance and the potential of the molecule and how many competitors are in the market, what percentage growth is being there, or the CAGR of the for the last 4 5 years or maybe for 6 years, how the molecule is moving in that particular therapeutic segment. Then I think after analyzing the whole thing, he should be in a position to develop this strategy, which is related to the communication strategy, the promotion strategy, the media plan, and then obviously the pricing strategy and that sort of thing. So he has to be really, his software part should be very, very strong and he should be very vigilant. But another important thing, which is the business ownership. So this again comes to the conventional sort of thing. You should analyze the plan, you should prioritize the plan. And there's an implementation part and evaluation part. And if evaluation is there's a deviation, then adjusting the plan according to the objectives being set for the business. And if you look at the different traits that a product manager in the department of marketing, you should have. I'm particularly referring this to the young pharmacists who are really inspiring to get into the marketing side or the sales side. So their communication has to be, they should focus on their communication, the written communication and the verbal communication and the presentation skills, because they may have a situation to present the product insight or something, a new study to the group of doctors or group of pharmacists or maybe some influencers to really build the concept. So communication should be strong. The business acumen has to be very good because business acumen, and when we say business acumen means if he's developing any campaign, so there has to be a cost benefit analysis. If he's putting some cost for developing the campaign and executing the campaign, the outcome, the impact of that campaign should be measurable, should be tangible, so that this can be well evaluated during the different phases of that campaign. He should be a critical thinker. He should challenge certain things if he believes something is really on the right side. So he should also challenge their peers or their upside senior management too for pitching up the idea. he should have an emotional intelligence has to be there, because there are certain things which really doesn't move like once one the person who is thinking should not. Sometimes it happens that it's not like that. So one has to be emotionally very stable and intelligent so that he can handle the situation as per need. Use of technology, of course, is a mandatory part. He should be really computer versed and technology savvy so that he can build various campaigns and he can connect with the number of multiple customers. Organizational skills is one area, change management, planning, and delegation. So these are things which are, again, one has to be very, very vigilant about having these sort of traits that has to be developed. The creativity and innovation part, as I mentioned, that the brand manager has got a job which is more towards the developing and creating the campaign and the ideas basically, and that is really very important for any brand manager to have this sort of thing. Now I think I am moving towards the next slide, which is career in pharmaceutical marketing. So this the start is obviously I would recommend if somebody wants to go into marketing, he may start his career from the sales representation as a sales promotion officer, the medical representative, or the product specialist, whatever the designation of the trade of that organization. But getting some hands first hand experience of selling really will be enable a marketeer or the brand manager to understand the need of a medical representative of the sales team. So without going through that process, it would be difficult for him to really develop the marketing campaigns in a realistic way and ensure the execution of the plan. Then comes once when he has got some time, like 6 months to 1 year time, it's spending in the field, then he has got a certain idea about the whole mechanism. And since he's a pharmacist, so his technical side is strong, but he has to be well somehow bit disciplined in organizing the things. So the assistant brand manager, he must be supporting or assisting some senior brand manager so that he can understand how the campaigns are developed and how these are being communicated and what are the challenges that he may face during rolling out the campaign. Then if he works well there, there's an option of brand manager or product manager we call. And during that time, he may have a parallel movement to the regional or the national sales manager position so that the people management part, because the product management or brand management part is the one area, is more towards creativity and innovation and execution. Another area is the people management and getting results out of some campaign. That would be the parallel side of the career is the regional or the national sales manager. Then he can again come back to the position of marketing manager, which is business unit manager, business unit head, business manager, or marketing manager. That means he is basically managing a team of product managers and maybe some national sales managers or the sales managers. So this is one obviously position that really makes a person a mature and very well thoughtful person to be the senior part of the senior management. Then comes the upper role, which is director sales and marketing or director commercial. And then they can move forward to the CEO or the managing director. So these are the various steps. And this is, I'm talking about Pakistan. I'm sure the UAE must have the similar sort of pattern or maybe some parallel things may be going on according to that. Conceptually, it's again, once when you get the trade and then you move forward. And the principle has to be like this: first deserve and then desire, so that you whatever you get, you really make sure that you just justify that. Now moving to the another part, a brand manager should be well versed with the developing the business plan and the brand plan with clarity, so that the brand plan is the crux of the whole thing. So he should be very strategically, he should have a ownership of that business plan. Since this is a limited time, so I want not to spend more time on how to develop the business plan, but this is one thing which a product manager has to really get the insight of this. Then he should know the insight of the disease and the patient journey. So he can develop a quarterly media plan with appropriate resource mapping. Resource mapping, once when I say, then if you need to know about the institution profile where the hospitals in which your product is, you want to include that. So you should know about the profile of that. Or if you are working on certain customer, so you should know his profile and his need and what his preference is. So it's again, the resource mapping is also linked with the media plan. Another important area is the execution part. He has to be really taskmaster in terms of execution, because once when he has gone through that planning part of the media plan, the important part is the execution. And then not is the only execution, it's again the monitoring of the desirable outcome. The outcome measurement, the tangible measurement is very important for any marketeer, because it's not the resources are limited. And if we put it smartly, then we can really get the outcome very smartly. So he should be in a position of to analyze the competitive scenario and develop the strategy as per the situation. Another important thing, he has to always think that what other indications can be linked up and what are the other new data coming up to support particular indication or positioning of the product. So that pulling up the scientific data and the support material and then reading out the material and then coming up with the cracks so that the strategy can be developed, and then communication through communication strategy that can be transmitted or transformed to the field team in the form of brand communication. Handling various situations pertaining to the brand optimization is the one area which is very, very important for a brand manager, and it should be well versed of this sort of thing also. Market and competitive intelligence in crafting strategies accordingly. He has to be very vigilant and the insightful, getting a lot of information from the market so that he should be updated on things happening. Then this is the one thing which is very important. I would like spend some time on this. Digital marketing. I'm trying to finish because my time is limited. So
Yes.
I
So,
will.
sir, yes, please.
I know it's time. So I will just
Yeah.
skip through a few things, but only the crux
Yeah.
of the slide. So digital marketing, I believe that this is a very important aspect of future marketing, because in COVID period, we have seen that there were multiple channels which were going on. There was a web marketing, search engine optimization, and obviously online advertisement. The consultants were doing their clinics through these channels, and the patient information was also given to in these information. There was the e-commerce and B2B. There were so many things happening. So make sure that digital marketing should be really the most preferred area, that a pharmacist should be well aware of this. Because the challenge in future would be to reaching out to the SCPs, patients, and pharmacies and the pharmacists. So reaching out would be the challenge, so that you should come up with some innovative technological ideas so that you can reach out and communicate whatever you really want to communicate. So this is one thing which is very important. There are online pharmacy concept going on, home delivery concept going on, online consultations going on. So there are a number of software and applications which are being used as a part of the digital telemarketing. So, because the reason being, the patients in this era are becoming more aware, because once they visit the consultant, they go through a lot of things about the disease, about the therapeutic area, about the dosage, about the side effects of the particular drug. So this is the one aspect of this part. More information is available, process efficiency is improving. There is a multi-channel engagement between patient and doctors, and there is a e-detailing practice going on in the pharmaceutical company, online consulting appointment system. So these are the various areas where I think, I'm sure if you're working for an organization, they are not using all these things. They are taking up some smart ways to really reach out to the customer, reach out to the patients, and reach out to the pharmacies and do some B2B business or B2C business. So I think, I don't know, you have got the system to really have a polling assessment. Uh, Hina, hello. Would you like to roll out this polling assessment question, or we should skip this? So there are two things left. If time is allowing me, then I can do this. Otherwise, we can skip it. There's a one polling assessment question that was a part of the format of the presentation being suggested. And the another is last is the case. but case will take another 5 to 7 minutes. So would you really like me to present the case or just an overview of the case?
I think, sir,
Hello.
you can. Hello. Yes. Sir, you can
Uh,
present the case. Question we will skip
okay, that's fine.
because
So
this
I
is an
will.
example.
Yeah. I think okay. So I think I would just briefly say the power of digital marketing. This is a case, very interesting case. There's a German health brand, Famibion. Okay, that I think they were interested to really run out some sort of advertisement or the campaign that should really put some impact on the customer's mind, and they were looking at some conversion rate of 35%. So case in this case study, you can see that this is basically they use the Facebook on multi-stage and campaign culminating in a lead generation phase. And they got 10,000 leads with half the sample distribution cost and a 35% increase in conversion rate. The challenge of this organization is the Merck Consumer Health wanted to raise brand awareness among the women in Germany, and they wanted to get use of the samples and the trial phase through this digital marketing. Okay? So that also generated the lead for its sampling campaign so that people could experience the product and its benefit. So they went through the Facebook part, the multi-stage campaign culminating into the concept. The solution was very innovative and strong. You can see on the slide that there was successful raise awareness and consideration of Famibion baby planning product and get it in the hands of women in Germany. That was again they prompted the female to really try this product due to having a lot of sort of appeal that was creating in the mind of the customer. And this was showing some interest and the lead was generated. And as a result of this 4 weeks campaign, there was a result. You can see that campaign structure and then the whole thing resulted into this was from December 2016 to April 2017. So it was like 5 months campaign, and there were 10,000 leads generated. There were 2 times lower sample distribution cost. They reduced they were having this benefit, and there was 35% increase in conversion rate. That means the impact on the business. So there are number of things that can be done by running a campaign in the social media, in the through telemarketing, and measuring the impact because it's a low cost venture. And there are LinkedIn, Facebook, and there are Twitter blogging and so many things which can happen, and you can create if your product has got this sort of characteristic, that really can really happen, and you can place in the product in the mind of the customer very quickly. So this was the sort of digital marketing that I wanted to really share with you. And if I just summarize my talk or presentation, I would just say that a typical day of a pharmacist who is spending time in marketing or is aspiring to be a marketeer, he has to be very creative. He should have the innovative thinking process. He should be his connectivity with the peers and the team, which is who is in the field, should be very strong. And he should have initiative taking ability, and he should have a result oriented approach, so that whatever the brand he is leading or whatever the group of brands he is leading, he should be really ahead of the competitor, and he should lead the market with the higher market share and with the higher growth. So thank you very much. This is all from my side. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Yavash. Thank you so much for your time and your nice presentation. It was pleasure having with you. Now, Dr. Hina. Now, our second speaker is Dr. Hina today, and she will be presenting the second presentation here. Dr. Hina, now this is your turn, please.
Thank you, Omar. Can you share the screen?
Yeah, please just wait. I will share your screen. Okay, now.
Thank you, Umar. And Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Hina Kamar. I'm working as an assistant manager marketing at Bentham Science Publishers. Before I start my presentation, I would like to thank Dr. Yawar Abbas for a very well-crafted and very insightful presentation about pharmaceutical marketing. I'm pretty sure all of us have learned a lot about that. But pharmaceutical marketing, the kind of skills that is required for pharmaceutical marketing, and the insight into the daily activities of a pharmacist as a marketer or product manager, as a product manager. So let's move on with our presentation. Can we move the slide, please? Okay, this is the disclosure that we do not have any financial or commercial funding, and there is no conflict of interest or financial risk relationship. I'll start with my professional journey so far. So I'm basically a PharmD graduate from University of Karachi, and I'm currently enrolled in MBA in Institute of Business Management. And my career, as soon as I graduated from pharmacy at the batch of 2012, I started working as a project trainee in GSK as a medical affairs, in a medical affairs department. So for all those who don't know what medical affairs is about, I will tell. Medical affairs is basically the clinical front of a pharmaceutical company. They are responsible for providing clinical support to the commercial team and pharmacovigilance, clinical trials, and collaborating with the doctors and healthcare professionals, scientifically collaborating with them, is all responsibility of medical affairs department. So naturally, it requires some clinical insights as well, and the corporate insights as well. So after completing my project traineeship, I moved on to the hospital side to gain some clinical knowledge. So I worked in National Medical Center and Indus Hospital. For about 3.5 years, I worked as a pharmacist in hospital, and then I joined MBA, and now I'm currently working as assistant manager marketing at Bentham Science Publishers. So I'm back to corporate sector now. Next slide, please. Okay, so here is a little bit introduction of my company, because it's not a pharmaceutical company, it's a publisher. So Bentham Science Publishers are basically international publishers, and they deal with scientific journals and books. The main, by scientific journals, they deal in all fields of science, but their main focus is medical. But obviously, they also deal in engineering and mathematical fields as well. So this company is basically based in UAE, but they have their satellite offices in different countries, such as US, China, and Pakistan. Next slide, please. Okay, so what I will be discussing with you guys is the very basic and very general aspect of marketing. And I'll be discussing some very basic skills of marketing that is required by undergraduates who are stepping initially into the marketing field. So you can polish these skills without having any job. You need not have a job to work on those skills. So we'll discuss that later, but before we discuss that, I'll give you a bit overview of the activities that I do as a pharmacist. So basically, I'm responsible for the marketing of books, and go to the previous slide, please. So for books, there are two-stage marketing that we do. First is pre-publication stage, and second is post-publication stage. Obviously, the name suggests clearly that pre-publication is when the book is not yet published. It's still in the publication process, and it's about to be published. So we do marketing at this stage just to, that give the coming soon kind of effect, where you make your audience aware that this book is in line and it's about to be launched. And once the book is launched, then we obviously go towards the post-publication marketing, which includes some of the activities I've mentioned over here, is uploading the book on Amazon or press release on our scientific platform, and collecting book reviews or email campaigns to the medical research centers or universities and pharmaceutical companies. Next slide, please. Okay, so a typical day-to-day activity, it basically happens that the books department is the department who is basically responsible for the publication of the book from the very first, the initial stage where they receive the proposal from the author till the book is being published. So that is the responsibility of books department. So what we do is we get a list of books that are about to be published in a month or two, along with the date of expected publication date. So once I receive that list, for suppose I have received a list at the start of August, naming all the books that are to be published in August or at the start of September. So what I do is I schedule my activities along with it. Time management is very crucial at this stage because pre-publication books are not the only books that I'm receiving. Books are already published simultaneously, so you have to continue the activities of published books as well. Obviously, the priority is given to the pre-publication activities because these are those books that are going to be published soon. And once the book is being published, we cannot conduct the pre-publication activities. So naturally, it has to be completed before the book is being published. So we have very limited time for that. So we give priority to our pre-publication activities, but post-publication activities are equally important, and we have to keep continuing it side by side. When we are continuing our activities, we are maintaining the record as well, and we are also keeping track of the sales generated through these activities, because that tells us the effectiveness of our activity. In case the sales are not generated, then that means the activity is not very effective and you need to work on your marketing plan. Either we eliminate those activities which are not generating enough sales because it's wastage of resources and time, or we introduce some new activities that can enhance the sales. So simultaneously, you have to look out for new opportunities that are there in the market. So you have to be really on your toes. So like I said, time is very important in marketing, and time management skills will really help you go with it. At the end of every 15 days, we have to present a report to our higher management. It's basically a progress report that tells all kinds of activities that are being done for the book, the amount of sales that is being generated for the book, or the new activities that we are coming up, and how to enhance the business and everything. So this all progress has to be reported at every 15 days. So management needs to be informed simultaneously. Next slide, please. Okay, so now I'm going to discuss those skills that I think that are very important from undergrad point of view for those who are initially stepping into the marketing department, marketing area. I think it's very important for them. So one of the most important skills that is also discussed by Dr. Yawar was communication. I cannot emphasize more that communication is one of the most important skills when you're going for marketing. It includes all kinds of communication: written, oral, verbal, non-verbal, all kinds of communication. Written, oral, obviously we know. Verbal communication includes speaking, writing, presenting, and everything, but non-verbal communication are also important. And non-verbal communication includes the way you dress up, the way you talk, the way you conduct yourself, your body language. Everything is included in non-verbal communication. So this is very crucial. And once you're out there for interview for marketing department, communication is the first and most essential thing that they're going to notice about you. If you're very good at communication, you're 80% there. There's 80% chances that you're going to clear that interview. So communication is crucial. Second is content creation. Obviously, we are living in a world of social media, so I don't need to explain what content creation is. We all know content creation. Either it's YouTube, it's FB, or it's any blog. You need to generate new ideas related to your product. And you need to make sure that this idea or anything, the main idea that you have generated, it should be delivered to your target audience in a way that they can perceive it from the point of view that you are trying to explain them. So content creation is important, but once you're doing it in marketing, you have to make sure that it's ethically correct. You're not free to make any kinds of content. You have to make sure of many things, the code of conduct, obviously the company's code of conduct, and ethical views. You have to keep intact all those things. Third is observation skills. Observation skills is basically when you observe the trends in the market or consumer behaviors. Basically, when you're trying to see what kind of customers are attracted to your product, where the product is sold more as compared to other areas. So these are the skills that you observe. So if you have good observational skills, you can pick the track and you can obviously work on your marketing plan accordingly. Next slide, please. Okay, data analysis, it's obviously very much related to the observation skills, because once you have observed the data, you have collected the information. Now you have to analyze those information. It basically helps you in the calculation of the effectiveness of your activities. You would know how effective your activities are in the market. If your activities are not effective, then you need to come up with a new plan, new marketing plan. So data analysis is a skill you can utilize there in predicting those information. Next is adaptability. Adaptability is important because there is no particular routine work that we are doing in marketing. There is no particular routine set of activities that we are doing routinely, because you have to keep changing it depending upon the response that you're receiving from the market. It's either your activities are successful, so you can keep on running them. And if it's not successful, then you need to eliminate those activities and introduce new activities. So there is a constant change of activities in the department. So you have to be really adaptable. You have to switch from one activity to another. And obviously, if you are a person who's more into working monotonously, then I think this is going to be a problem for you. You need to work on your adaptability skills. Last is customer service, and we all know the importance of customer service. We have all been at the customer's end, so we know what it is, what we expect from the marketing team or the company as a customer. So we have to make sure, as a marketer, you have to make sure that the customers are having smooth experience, and through your service, customer service, you can have potential new customers. So customer service is very important because you're representing your company over there. So customers are going to perceive the company from the services they get. So that's it. These are the skills. I think this is important for everyone aspiring to be marketer, and those who think they do not have very good skills, they can polish these skills. These skills aren't something that requires working environment to polish it. You can polish these skills in your daily university life as well. You can go for presentations. You can run campaigns in your universities. So these skills can be polished simultaneously. So I think this is very easy for you guys to adapt these skills. So that's the end of my presentation. And if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Some of attendees have questions. Actually, one of them is asking from Dr. Yawar. Okay, let me ask from yours one. One of them is asking how important a post-graduation degree in marketing is initially important, and what stage of your marketing career you think it gets important.
Yes, postgraduate degree in marketing, obviously, mostly we talk about MBA in marketing. So if you have a very clear idea that you need to pursue marketing as your career, so I think it's a good option that you join your degree as soon as you complete your graduation. But there are also people who work as a sales representative during their university time. I think that is very important, and that helps them a lot. So if you do not have market exposure yet, and then if you join MBA soon after graduation, I won't recommend that. I believe that once you need to have certain exposure to the market and then decide to go for your post-graduation, be it marketing or any other field, it's very important to have some exposure from the market before going ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And the next question is that they are asking the difference between medical affairs and legal department.
Legal department is basically handling all the legal and law related activities. Medical department is concerned with the clinical side of the thing. They're giving clinical, the safety data management or data sheet management or pharmacovigilance. These are not the activities of legal department. These are the activities of medical department. These are the clinical activities that are handled by medical department.
Okay,
Yes.
Dr. Hina, I have one question as well. As you are dealing with, the different field of
Hmm.
marketing, which is publishing the books and journals and that type of marketing. So, what do you think
Yeah.
that what is the scope in this field for the pharmacists, especially for the young grads and fresh who are coming to this field? So, what are the scope for them, and what are the chances for them? This is from my side.
Yeah. So in case of publishing field, it is useful when you are working with publishers who are involved in scientific publications. Obviously, those who are interested or who have some insight about research would know more about publication and journals, because obviously the main area is journals. They have around 80 to 100 journals. So it is very helpful from a pharmacist point of view because you do have technical knowledge. Now we're not living in an era where marketing was solely a business field. Now, because the industry is now focused on candidates who do have technical knowledge meaning that related to your field. So once you have a technical knowledge, you can conduct your activity more profoundly. For suppose if I talk about content creation,
Yeah.
and we are dealing with scientific medical journals. So for that, content creation is very easier for a person from medical background as compared to a business or other background student. So I think it is a good opportunity, and it's a new thing that I've found out. I wasn't aware that we as a pharmacist could go in publishing field
Mhm.
as well, but this is the new scope, and I think this will broaden the scope of our pharmacists in future.
Yeah, you are right, because I would add in your comments that I have seen some of the pharmacists working with Wolters Kluwer, which is one of the renowned
Mhm.
publisher, and and they have a name in digital health. So this is also, and it's this field is also growing, and they
Yeah,
have opportunities, especially for the technical people as well. So I
yeah.
can see this in UAE, but soon, inshallah, it will be in Pakistan as well. So, Dr. Rina, next three questions, I think, for Dr. Yawar. So, can you please ask Dr. Yawar?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. The first question is, what is the difference between sales and marketing management?
Okay, very briefly, because this is a very important question, I would say, because there's maybe some confusion that sales management and marketing management. Sales management is basically more towards getting the desirable results from a strategy, basically. It's more toward tangible numbers. And if we talk about sales management, that means you are managing the people, you are managing the business, you are managing the customers, you are managing the territories. So it's more towards it's more towards a tactical part to get the outcome. And if you look at the marketing management, it's more towards the brand management, the product life cycle management, creating the execution of the media plan, and creating a strategy which can be implemented so that the desired results with other sales objectives can be achieved. It's a hands-on hand sort of thing. It's not in isolation. So I would say sales management people are in front in the field. They have got the targets, they have got the tangible numbers to measure, and their measurement is very clear. And if you go one step up, it requires the people management, it requires the business management, it requires the customer management, it requires the territory planning, it requires the return on investment part, which is business acumen. So it's like that. Hope I have clarified my point of view regarding this sales and marketing management.
Yes, sir. The second question which is asked is, what are the top three qualities you would like to see in fresh graduates aspiring to become a marketer if you were to hire?
I think this is again a very important question, being if we keep ourselves in the shoes of young pharmacist, because we all have gone through this process. So one has to be really clarity of thought is very important, because once when I did my bachelor's in pharmacy, I was very inspiring thing for me is to go into the industry. And I, to be honest, started my career in starting from Welcome. At that time, Welcome was, now it's GSK. So it was a liquid manufacturing area, and it was a routine job. I spent almost 4 months there, and I decided myself that's not a place for me, because my actually I was more extrovert towards and I was in a mode of accepting the challenges, having more insight about the market, traveling, that sort of thing. So you have to decide that what are your attributes, I think, what are your area of interest, so that you can really go in the right direction. So clarity of thought is one thing, the first thing which a young pharmacist should have. And the another one, which I suppose is a more important, is the passionating way to achieve, and he has to be result oriented. It's not just putting efforts. He has to be smart enough to get the results, whatever the input he's putting in. The third important thing that I would emphasize, one has to be persistent and adaptable as per situation. For example, if you're going through the marketing in my previous days, it was very different. Now it's digital era. And if I think that whatever I have learned in my IBA is the one which was the maybe the right way, but I think I would de-learn and then learn, which is more important thing for me, because now it's the era of digital marketing. And if I apply the same conventional thing for which I've learned in my academic side, so it would not really work. So one has to be adaptable and persistent. Let me redefine again: clarity of thoughts. He should be passionate to achieve the results, or the result oriented. And the third one is the persistence and the adaptability. So these are three in my point of view. There may be, the point of view may be different from
So true,
others.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a third question and probably the last. What are the opportunities for pharmacists in digital marketing, and how they can equip them with changing technology?
I think this is again a very, very important question, because in our, if you look at our academic syllabus, if I talk about in my era in 1990s, there were certain things. If you just will stick on your subject syllabus, then I think you need to have some out of the box ways to learn, because digital marketing nowadays a lot of courses are being offered. And again, once when you are doing your MBA in marketing, there's a subspecialty which is e-marketing or digital marketing. So there are short courses, there are long courses going on, and the important thing is the one has to take interest basically in the social media marketing, and he should have that sort of insight. He should be well versed and well informed. So I think I would suggest that any pharmacist who has done, yes, is in process of doing his or her PharmD, he should really keep an eye on what's happening in the market in the forefront of the digital marketing. It's very, very important. If somebody wants to have fast track growth in marketing, in pharmaceutical marketing or healthcare marketing, I would suggest that he should have this insight. So again, hope I have answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. That was comprehensive. Okay, I think we will wrap up the session. Thank you so much, Dr. Hina, Dr. Jawar, for your time and for your nice presentations. And all the organizers, Dr. Lina, Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. Zishan, for everyone who has taken part in this session. We would like to thank you all. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Sir, Dr. Jawar, she's there. Okay.